Welcome, crypto media friends, to another episode. Here at the studio, we are talking about the Metaverse, and today specifically AIOZ, and why is it flying high? What's going on with it, and how it relates and incorporates into the growth of the Metaverse and media within the Metaverse, because this is something that we talk about a lot here on the channel. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications so that you understand and can be aware of when these opportunities come. And when you see these spikes come in, like the one today, you understand not just, hey, where to be financially. That's one side of the game. The other side is where to be as a creator, where to be as a player within the media game and within running nodes, within incorporating and participating within Web3. Because I think if you're stacking coins along the way, it's a great thing. No financial advice ever here. But it's something that is part and parcel of what participation in the networks are and what participation Web3 is. And so let's take a look at AIOZ today. Wow. It, again, Bitcoin having, sort of a bit of a resurgence given the, the Biden administration sort of quote unquote news. Very just small sort of like uptick, but I think it's just enough of an uptick to allow the markets to breathe in. It's allowed people to look at projects and investigate and look at, the future of the space, which has been evolving. I love AIOZ because, and we've covered it on the show before, and I'm going to put a link down below so you understand why I like AIOZ here on the show. But further, they're evolving. And so you have a focus not just on, being the YouTube killer. Like, there's a lot of weird buzz about it that really had nothing to do with its core business, honestly. It was just kind of like these things that they were doing in testnet were perceived as, oh, they're going to try and, take on YouTube. Wow, that's a spike. And unfortunately, those ideas don't pan out because that's not what they're doing, and nobody's really taking a close look at what they are actually doing. And what they're actually doing is being the picks and shovels of the Metaverse, meaning, we all need to, even just to see this, you need AWS, you need YouTube, YouTube relying on Google, sorry, they're on the Google network, and Microsoft, the big three. Hey, watch out. Let me do some cuts there. Isn't that weird? I can change the skin tonality based on those cuts. So, the big three sort of cloud services, controlling and dominating and decentralizing those has been, early going, with Akash and here with AIOZ. We have something that I think that is being overlooked, and I want to get into it by quickly looking at what's happened today. So it went up like 38% on a spike. Now, there was a spike previous to this, and I was like over here, it's like a day or two, like a day ago, and I was just like, maybe I should cover this. I was just like, there was a spike, and I was like, maybe I should cover this. This is an interesting development, just a huge, price jump, roughly 20-25% within the project, based upon some really exciting news. Super, super exciting. They got a Coinbase listing. Coinbase very quietly dropped 7 altcoins, and AIOZ was one of them. And so not only do they have that, today they also announced Huobi, which is a massive Korean exchange. So 2 huge listings back to back. And so you have a slight rally, Bitcoin leading the way, based off of general cryptocurrency news. Thank you very much. And, through that, you can see sort of, hey, a listing drop. Okay, hey, what's new and hot? Very alty, tasty altcoins. And so initially sent it soaring up 38% from 13 to 18. And that was, as I said, that was this. 18, maybe over there. And so this is this. That's the jump there yesterday. What in the hell is this? And so I was just like, well, I guess I'm going to have to really look into this again, because I think that obviously there's a pump. Somebody's talking about it. The volume is relative to what they are and what they usually do is massive. And so, like, let's get a broader scope here. This is, all-time high in terms of volume. I'm looking down there, down. You can't see my pointer ever, but you can kind of see the tracking. But down below, you'll see those little lines of volume. So relatively, this is, second highest volume since its release. And so you're seeing a ton of volume. And even then, it's light, because when you look at the trading volume of $15 million on a market cap of $112 million, this is very, very low cap, altcoiny territory. And that gets exciting for a lot of people, because you can get a sense that the upward movement, well, it's 472 million circulating supply, but still the market cap being very, very low relative to its competitors. And what we'll call competitors very light here, LivePeer and Theta, who are massive, titans of, video industry at the moment. Because this is the thing, we know that the metaverse needs video processing and compute power when you look at things like this. Powered by Akash. Unreal Engine, Unreal bitrate. My gosh. In browser, note that too. This is going to become a big shill for Strange Clan, really. But imagine this is what you want. You want in browser gaming. You want Unreal Engine processing. You want to be able to experience this across multiple players. And you want to do it with 3D characters, right? And so this is a lot of processing. And this leads to a lot of trying to understand, where the picks and shovels are going to be in the metaverse. And with this demand for greater resolution, with, enhanced gameplay that's not 8-bit, we're looking at, needing and requiring a lot of localized processing power. And that's what the beauty of decentralization and Web3, the promise of Web3 is, to have this capacity, to have it and it be local, and it to process very fast as Netflix does, as we talked about in the show, how Netflix does that and achieves that in a decentralized way. They just have enough bucks to literally buy a version of decentralization. And so, but for Web3, it's decentralization with, tokenization, so that people, can exchange those funds, whether they want to be paid to play or what have you, as well as running the nodes. And I think that that's the important sort of new narrative that's developing within nodes and within, providing the decentralized structure for this. And so if you're running a node, you make essentially you make money based on allowing your computer to be utilized for this level of compute, which again it needs so much and is massive. I believe AIOZ is currently clocking about 30,000 or so worldwide, which is a nice little uptick in growth. If you go to the website AIOZ.network, you can see they've changed. I'm going to link the old video so that you guys really get an understanding of why this is such an interesting play and interesting project. And so, delivering on Content Delivery Network, it's a decentralized DCDN, decentralized cloud content delivery network, connecting a global web of nodes to power a new decentralized media economy. So again, speed. Affordability, it's like 10% of the cost of using AWS. And so which is prone to go down, as we've found recently. And so you'll also notice a very streamlined website. No longer are they touting AIOZ Tube, the sort of the YouTube version, or AIOZ Play, the Apple, sort of quote unquote killer. Those were not about being in those businesses. Those were about supporting and test netting those businesses. They were test nets. And the great thing is they rewarded people on test nets at a 1-to-1. So if you were on their test net, you got rewarded quite nicely, because as you were just watching videos and allowing things, to collect, in a sense, participating in any way on their network through the just watching, BitBoy Crypto sort of B-roll, you were getting these coins, and they transferred those coins from testnet to actual AIOZ into people's wallets on a 1-to-1 ratio, which was very nice for those who participated. Now, the thing that I think is being overlooked also, which sort of confused me, was suddenly I saw this branding almost. Do you see it? Cosmos. IBC ready. Like, just like, I was almost like shocked. I was like, wait, what? I didn't even know they were on Cosmos. I was like, I didn't understand, because certainly they're not on Osmosis. And so I went back and I looked. I was like, there's no, there's no coin available to swap on Osmosis. So it's like it never really registered that they are part of the Cosmos network. But it's only on further review. Just like you start looking at the new literature, they're hyping it, Cosmos interoperability. And because you have IBC, essentially, you can go to any chain, and that includes Ethereum. And so it seems that they have, for themselves, as a layer 1, achieved interoperability with Cosmos, apparently natively, because they're part of the Cosmos ecosystem, as well as Ethereum. And so using EVM and WASM smart contracts, I mean, it's just like, that's a huge thing. So they're able to deploy dApps in a very, very quick manner. So again, it's not about them being YouTube. It's about them allowing you to build your own dApp, allowing creators to build their own worlds, and essentially their own business on top of this very, very potent layer 1 blockchain that is for and supports video streaming, processing that is comparable and needed on gaming systems like Strange Clan. And so I think you have a very interesting play at a market cap that is, again, still pretty dirt poor. We're looking at huge consolidation in this project. I think I first initially gave it to you guys about here. It was after a quick pump like this, and where I talked about it, and it went on a 4 or 5x run. Previously, I think I got in somewhere in May back here, and I've been staking, and you get, I believe, about 20% APY, which is not the best, but I think it's an interesting play for the future, again, for a picks and shovels play for the metaverse. So like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, put in the comments down below if you're running a node, if you've looked at AIOZ, and understand who the hell is pumping it. Somebody is pumping it hard right now, and dumping a little bit. So it's got a hard pump, but I think if you look, past performance does not indicate anything. But I think if you're looking at the amount of volume that it's doing, you're going to break through with some interest. I think when you get a price move like this, you're going to get some interest. And the markets are just so weird and everything. Again, post January, I called sort of a general FUD thing, but like, I believe the market's going to be trading sideways, and that's sort of been the philosophy in terms of like what we're looking at with the marketplace. So don't expect too much. Don't expect the massive pumps of yesteryear, last year, 2021, the year of pumps. Because I think there's a lot more sophistication with people who are kind of tossing out HODL as a philosophy and looking at this methodology of taking profits and this sort of pedanticness that Elliott Trades is spouting, and when there's a burn in the market, all of a sudden, you should have took profits like me, and I'm sure just behind him is currently now just that one screenshot, because he's got 9 Lambos to his left, and so but more and beyond again, anytime I talk about price on this thing on this channel, it's about looking at where they're at in the market, because that, not in the market, but also in the space and development, because their marketing is pointing towards their development. And so as they're like, oh, hey, we've got this and we're listed here, that's an indication of where they're at in the project. These guys could get ready to pounce into an L1 that allows for gaming platforms to jump right on and allow them to do this processing, this compute, this insane amount of processing that's evident in something like Strange Clan. So subscribe, hit the bell notification, especially if you love Strange Clan. I'm following closely. They've been very kind so far on the project. If you're a fan of the channel, I think you've been well rewarded if you got involved with Strange Clan, because they did a token drop on top of giving whitelists to the sort of the second version, the Town 2 that they have, and so good things on the Cosmos ecosystem. Clearly, if we're looking at, if you're a fan of the channel, you know all about this. If you're not, please do. Please join me in this discussion as we talk about as being slightly early as these things are developing in the marketplace, because that's the indication here. The price action is an indication of where they're at in the development process. They could be near a point where they could have an impact on us creators who want to engage in this one-to-one exchange, because thank you again for liking and subscribing, but I don't get a dime of that, guys. I get zero. It's just crazy, unless I have a million, but even then you're doing all these sort of things, you're trying to leverage things, and it's pretty soon I'm going to be up here spewing some, or shilling for some really horrible coin or crap project because you need to make ends meet. But no hate, but it's that's sort of the Web 2 game. If it's Web 3, it's a bit more one-to-one. It's a bit like, oh hey, I understand what that person is saying, and that's pretty fantastic. Just by you watching it, maybe even doing a like, that's an actuation through something like the AIOZ platform, allowing you to be compensated for doing stuff like this, for elucidating messaging and information on the world. I'm thinking a lot about what's going on in the world with the war, and I think you look at some of the things that are being shared about it. And I'm not going to get too political or anything, but I think you look at sort of what's being shared about it, and you got people risking their lives on the front lines to share this sort of stuff. Outside of CNN, a lot of these people are just people holding the camera and doing so just to kind of shed light on a certain subject. And wouldn't it be nice if they were rewarded? Thanks, guys.